You're not by yourself. You're not the only person on this planet. I'm not the only person on this planet. There's a lot of things that we all go through. There's a lot of challenges that we face. When you are with a cluster personality or a narcissist, whether that's your family, your friend, a co-worker, what have you, the bottom line is that relationship absolutely serves a purpose, but it's up to you to find out what that purpose is. You know, because it took me quite a while to figure out what the purpose of certain relationships were, especially when they were very painful. When a person is in a dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist or a cluster personality, it is very hard to figure out what the purpose of that relationship is, but it's there. Another thing I want to share with you is that there's a lot of valuable lessons to learn via painful experiences. Easier said than done, because when we're right in the middle of it, we don't think about, and we don't want to think about, what's the purpose of this relationship? What's the lesson in it, right? But I'm here to tell you from experience, there is always a lesson in there. There's always a silver lining in a cloud. I just want to encourage you to find the good in the goodbye and to find the silver lining in every cloud that you may have right now. All right, right now, there are certain challenges that I face. There are certain challenges that you face. Again, the bottom line is there's always the good in a goodbye. There is always a silver lining in a cloud. It just has to be found. The person has to be willing to see beyond that. It is easier said than done. Just last week, there was something that I was going through, and I had to find the good in the goodbye. And not only that, I tried to find the silver lining in the cloud, and finally I did after some time. Sometimes we are detoured. Sometimes we are distracted. Sometimes there are things that happen in our lives, and we're like, what happened? Where did that come from? So I just want to encourage all of my stars today or tonight. Whatever challenges you're going through right now, remember, it's just a pit stop. That's not your entire life. Your purpose, okay, is of a higher nature. Meaning sometimes we can't see the purpose right away. It's usually of a higher purpose. It's usually of a higher thing. Okay, so when we are going through something, we're not going to always see the big picture right away. That's why it's a good idea to try to find the silver lining and try to find the good. Okay, try to find the good in the goodbye, try to find the silver lining in the cloud. If a person doesn't do that, from my experience, it's like I'm just totally focused on what the problem is instead of attempting to resolve my own issues. Sometimes that's via getting with somebody else and they say something and it's like I have an aha moment and it's like, yep, that's the answer, or that will help me to resolve the issue. When a person doesn't attempt to resolve the issue, usually from my experience, they're just focused on the problem and they're not seeing it as a challenge to grow. Okay? In other words, become your own problem solver. That will actually build your confidence and trusting yourself and trusting your own intuitiveness, because you're saying to yourself, you know what? I can solve that problem. Even if I have to get with somebody else to get some help, I can still resolve that issue instead of looking at it as it's a problem and it's bigger than me and I'm stuck in the sunken place. So I just wanted to share that with you all. I am heading out for my day. Self-preservation is what narcissists know very well. He or she manipulates everyone in order to obtain narcissistic supply by any means necessary. When the narcissist is found out, in the mind of the narcissist, he or she must be punished. Okay, so narcissist thinks that the self-preservation is only for them, okay, because they have predatory natures. So it's no thing for them to go out and scout for new supply, okay? Primary sources of supply, which are their families, their closest friends, but then they also want the secondary supply. This can be lovers, side, chicks or side pieces or whatever, right? Okay, so this is secondary and primary sources of supply. Yes, narcissists categorize their sources of supply, but when it comes to self-preservation, it's no thing for them to practice this. They just think it's only for them. But those around him or her who practice self-preservation, secretly the narcissist says, gotta punish that one. So this is when the diabolical tactics for narcissists apply increase. Also, this is when the shenanigans that they pull also increase. So don't be surprised that they are seeking to punish people who practice self-preservation, because again, they think self-preservation is only for them. Next point. As far as the narcissist is concerned, it is not only inappropriate for anyone else to practice self-preservation, it is often a real inconvenience to him or her. Narcissists don't like others critically thinking. Rather, they like when others who supply them to be enablers. So when a person starts to critically think, yes, this is a threat to the false self-image or the false self-images of narcissists and cluster B personality types. They don't like it when people critically think, because more than likely, before the mask slips off, a person can already identify the narcissist and a cluster B personality. So the narcissist and the cluster B personality types, they don't expect anyone else to practice self-preservation like they do. This is another way of taking care of yourself. The narcissists don't expect that, because they expect you and other people around them to supply them. Other people to the narcissist are like game pieces on a game board to be maneuvered at their will. They don't see other people as human beings who have free will to choose. Narcissists and cluster B personalities see other people as property. So when you begin to, practice self-preservation, that's like a shock to their system. So you practicing self-preservation doesn't feel too good to the narcissist and a cluster B personality, because that's a sign that they are losing control of you. Losing control means they're losing supply. And the mask may begin to slip off, and before you know it, you may have a narcissist in front of you who is having a real meltdown, or they are expressing narcissistic rage. And most people are not ready for that. Okay, tool number 1, try to stay focused on your own life and try to stay focused on your own purpose. Sometimes we may say, well, I don't know what my purpose is. Here's a secret. The first time that I asked that question, what is my purpose in life? I answered it. After a little while, I thought, okay, what is my purpose? So what came back to me was, my life has purpose. So by simply making that statement, my life has purpose, that will get you started on what your purpose is in life. I know it may sound like, oh, okay, that's not going to work. But the fact that your life has purpose, that is part of what your purpose is in life. You're here, you're living. So simply making the statement, my life has purpose, goes a long way. All right, tool number 2, discontinue to be available to people who are not emotionally available to you, especially the narcissist and the cluster B personality. Let's face it, the dysfunctional relationship is dysfunctional due to the fact that the narcissist and cluster B personality, they don't care to make the relationship healthy. In other words, they're not willing to partner with other people to make sure that relationship is healthy. Let's face it, the narcissist and the cluster B personality, more than likely they're not going to change. So that means emotionally, they're not going to be available to you. They're only loyal to their false self-image. So again, discontinue to be emotionally available to them.
Earth, our home, incubator of life.